I think this is going to be the last time I have to do that, which honestly, I'm excited for that. I have like an hour drive, and yeah, we'll see how things go when I get there, but I have like an hour drive to go look at the next car. So we'll see how things go. All right, guys, so on the way, and it's, how do I say, what is the feeling? What is the vibe right now? I'm kind of like, I'm ready to get rid of the Corvette. Not gonna lie to you, I'm definitely kind of ready to get rid of the Corvette. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit sad just because of how much work that I've put into this car. This car is so much better than when I first got it. And I'm not gonna reiterate every single thing I talked about in my last video when I talked about selling the Corvette. If you wanna see it, it'll be linked down below. But in short, I am ready to get rid of this car. It's a cool car, it really is. It just wasn't my dream, and just small little things kept just adding up. So, but I'm definitely more excited for what's coming next. I want something that I can drive more so that I can actually, you know, do stuff with. But yeah, all right, we're on our way there. It's getting dark. We're on the way, still got like an hour drive, but cracking along. So yeah, there was a little hint inside of my other video. And if you followed me on Instagram, I did post about this before. A Focus RS. Like, this car to me is my ultimate, I don't want to say dream car, but it's like the one car that I had before that I truly felt like I loved, absolutely loved. We drove across the country with a Focus RS and the Veloster in. I loved my old Focus RS. I did wind up selling it when we moved out here because we only had a spot for like 2 parking spots, my wife's car and my car, and I swapped and got a Jeep Wrangler at the time, but I absolutely loved that Focus RS. I loved it so much, like just truly because it was the ultimate car to me. A manual all-wheel drive turbo car that sounds amazing and is also rare, if that makes sense. One of my favorite cars, truly, of all time, and the potential of them is great. Let's jump inside the car. Let's do some more talking. Focus RS, one of my favorite cars of all time. Absolutely love it. This vehicle, so the way that it turned out, it was kind of a whole hassle with that dealership. But I will say they gave me the absolute most for my Corvette. They gave me pretty much close-ish to what I paid for it. So that's the main reason why I went with that dealership. And when I purchased this car, so there's a couple things with it. A, it's not 100% stock. So at first I was like, I wanted to find a stock car. I didn't want to find a car that was beat on and that was modified. But realistically, any Focus RS, someone's probably driven it. They've driven it hard. This car, there is some modifications that are done. It looks like they did try to bring it back to stock before they sold it. They put the stock wheels back on. They put the stock exhaust back on. It does have a cold air intake. It does have Mishimoto like intercooler piping and the coolant lines and an expansion tank for the coolant. It looks like it has a stock intercooler still on it. So it looks like it does. Oh, and it does have a blow off valve on the car as well. So it looks like the car, they did modifications to it. They had it tuned, but it looks like they tried to bring it back to stock and they sold all the stuff that they could sell. It looks like the work that was done well. that was one of the things I was looking at, like, okay, cool, this car, like, is it beat up? Is it a piece of crap? Like, what did they do? But overall, it does drive well, so that was like the biggest thing. But let me back up though. So when I went to this shop, the reason why I'm just like, my experience with them, it was okay. I mean, everyone was nice, but I was kind of like, all right. One of the reasons why I did wind up going with this vehicle was when I went to the shop originally. They were like, okay, cool, yeah, we have it. Come on in, you can come take a look at it and everything like that. On my way there, they were like, hey, it's actually still at the maintenance shop. We're putting on brand new brakes on the car. And they're doing like a oil change. So when I got to the shop, they're like, hey, it's not here, but it's at the maintenance bay. If you want, you can go and look at the car. It's on the lift right now. And I was like, actually, yes, I want to go look at the car while it's on the lift. So they drive me down, it's like a mile away to like their maintenance facility. The car was up on the lift, and I actually got a chance to talk to one of the people that were working on the car. Granted, you know, is he being biased? Probably, but I don't think the guy that was working on the car had any stake in anything. He was like, hey, honestly, the car drives fine. We're putting on brand new brakes on it just because of like the brakes were getting low. Like they were like, legally, we have to like, it's gotta be at a certain limit for them to like sell it. So they were just like, cool, we're putting on brand new brakes. They just changed the oil. I did get a chance to look at the oil that literally just came out of the car as well. So I was like, okay, cool. Like it didn't look like it was anything crazy. One thing I did notice, the exhaust. Oh yeah, it looks like the exhaust, there was like some, like it looked like it was like welded at the end. So it looks like this stock exhaust, they may have tried to modify it at one point in time, but like it looks like they did have an aftermarket exhaust and they put this stock exhaust back on, but it was just like, there was some like imperfections inside the exhaust pretty much. So I was able to see that literally underneath the car. And in the front, it looked like some of the like front splitter had just some like scratch marks, just, you know, a lower car, you're going to scrape on stuff. Noticed that. Looked at all of the tie rods going to the vehicle. I mean, going to the wheels, was able to check that. Check basically the whole undercarriage of the car. The car, like it pretty much is like really clean. Looking at the Carfax, the car did come out of Chicago or Illinois. It was delivered there. It lived its first, I want to say, year there, and then it came to California after that, which is fine because, like, I mean, my old Focus came from Buffalo, but that thing was like rusted after spending a couple years in the salt and snow. This one has no rust underneath it at all, so I was like, that's great. And this car is the RS3 package, or the RS2 package. This one has the better package than my car did. This one has the sunroof up above us. It has like the heated steering wheel and heated seats. So this car just overall is a much better vehicle. It does have 80,000 miles, which honestly, I think that's what I bought my car at. My old one was a 2017, had 80,000 miles, and I bought that like years ago. So this one's like in fairly good shape. So it's not all perfect though. Looking at the Carfax, so this car was not the cheapest one I could find because I didn't want to do that. I bought the cheaper one before, even when I bought the Corvette, and I wound up having so many issues. So I was like, let me not get the cheapest one, but the best, most bang for your buck one. The carbon fiber hood, I looked it up. I forgot the brand, but it's like over like $1,000 just for that hood itself, and then like the other front piece for the bumper. I was like, okay, cool, there's some decent pieces. The quarter intake, which is also like a fairly, I mean, it's like a couple $100, and like all the other parts, I was just like looking like, okay, cool, these are like high quality parts. They're not like parts off of eBay. So I was like, okay, cool, these were like decent parts that were put on here. So it's not like it's like the worst thing in the world. Kind of funny because a lot of stuff that I want to do to the car I already did to my other Focus. So like I was thinking about going with stratified with the tuning, or I think I want to do the AWE track exhaust, but I don't know. I may do something different. Who knows? But I don't want to just jump into everything. I want to like really like look more on the forums. I did see a couple other exhaust systems that I do like, so I may choose something different. I don't know, but I'm gonna probably go with stratified, even though I did see some other tuning services that I do like. So we'll see. The one thing about this car though, I don't want to make crazy power. You know, in this chassis, going like 500 plus horsepower is not advisable on a stock engine. So like, the whole goal of this car is not to be like crazy fast. I'm gonna go into a whole nother video of like why I did this, the differences and everything like that. So I'm not gonna dive into all that right now, but yeah, just more of the story is this car is a much funner car to drive on a daily basis and a car that I'm going to use a lot more. I'm excited to take this out to the Canyons again, and I'm excited to like actually use the car more just because of I don't feel like it's going to break down on me every 5 seconds or I'm going to be stranded somewhere. So that's like the good thing about this car is I'm actually using it. More of the story is this is the brand new car on the channel. It's going to be here. I don't plan on getting rid of this thing. I plan on keeping this guy for a very long time. Like I know I say that with every other vehicle, but yeah, trust me when I say this one's gonna stay, this one's gonna stay, just like the truck on the channel.